Yo, I closed this. Wait. Hello. Do I hear my... Okay, now everything is fine. Hello. I'm back. Well, it's not like I was away for a while or something, but I'm back. Hey, right now, hello. Hell yeah, let's go. I'm just happy to be here, I guess. Oh my god. So, I don't know why, but it took like more than expected to start the stream, so I had to actually do the timer 2 times. Oh, I'm sorry for that, I guess. It was not supposed to be like that, okay? But now we are okay. So for today the plan is pretty simple. Last stream I beat Elden Ring. Kinda, cause I kinda, I guess, but it's still alright. So let's say that I've beat Elden Ring, okay? Let's just say that. Okay, so oh fuck. Oh wait. So I'm happy to announce that our friends. Oh, W. Thank you. So, after I did that, there is only one thing to do, right? Well, there is 2 things, but I don't know if I'll do the second one. So, I'm thinking that I know nothing about this game, actually. I just know that fight boss, a big boss with a sword and kill, and that's all. So I thought that, you know what? Should I just watch some lore videos before starting another game? Like, this will be like the perfect ending. If we are ending here, this will be like the perfect ending, I would say so myself. So I think today that's what we are going to do, right? I think it will be pretty fun. I don't know, cause I know nothing about the game, so maybe I will know more and I'll be more invested in it, but I don't know yet. I have to actually find it out. Bye to Uncle. Nah, don't worry. Uncle will be again in a YouTube video, right? Cause before like going all, oh, and there are like 6 endings. Obviously I did one on one playthrough, so we're going to watch also that, and I think it'd be pretty damn cool. But a little update, I'm still working on that freaking long video, and now I actually have everything ready, like everything like recorded, like I live streamed that, so I have everything ready. So that's still a W. So I can do a little update before like actually starting. And I have like not a file form, but I kind of have a thumbnail, so I can show that, because I think it's looking pretty fucking cool, I'm gonna lie. It's looking pretty cool, I guess. But before that, when this week, when, I don't know. This week, I just know it's this week. When exactly? I don't know. Maybe this week. That's all I know. This week. This freaking week. So before that, let's do the update. Choo. Where am I? Why did I disappear? Oh. Wait. Okay. Okay. Now we good. We good. So, a little update on the video is coming pretty good. So, if we will go more in depth, we'll see there is like the intro and it's the same one. I don't think I like changed something, but if you look at this, everything is organized. This looks clean, like every single thing is organized, like different colors. It's looking absolutely insane. I love. And yeah, I think there's like 100 hours in this, like almost 100 hours. And there will be like, first there will be like the story bosses, then additional ones, then the cave ones. Bro, the cave ones are insane, cause if you look, there's like a half a second or half a second for one entire boss, cause there is no way I'm gonna do more, cause this will take a while, and this is already a long one. This is already a very long video, I would say. It's like 45 minutes. Yo Arthur, hello. What's going on? I'm just showcasing. I'm just showcasing how the video is turning out to be actually. And it's not that bad, I would say. It's not that bad. It's like 45 minutes before the final cut, so I guess like the final cuts will be like, I don't know, 40, 35, something like this. I'll do more cuts. But here will be like every single bottom from okay. You actually should be proud. You know what? Let me show the thumbnail now, cause the thumbnail well, it's not 100% ready, but honestly, the thumbnail is pretty. Oh fuck! Wait. Honestly, I think that's the best thing I've ever done. So look at this, bro. That's insane. It's not ready, but like it's not 100% done. But it's looking insane. Honestly, that's my thought though. My thought is that this is looking like pretty damn good. I know, I just like this. What do you guys think? Like, I don't think I made something better in my entire life. Like, there was a lot of thought into this, so that has me dying. Oh, that's good. Okay. Cause there's like tired me with. Okay, this armor is pretty damn cool. Honestly, this armor is pretty cool, and on the throne and like a text. Obviously, we need a text and all the boss in the background. You see, so okay. Honestly, that's pretty damn good. Okay, that's pretty good. Like, you can't say that it's fun, because it's like pretty funny, but at the same time you can't tell me that this is not great. And this is like another variation, but I think it's like looking kind of ugly with those two things. I think it's looking kind of ugly, so I think it's like way better without those. What do you think, bro? What do you think, guys? Cause like it's kind of ugly with those things, and they're kind of way too distracting, honestly. So I guess without them, and it's not ready. Well, it's almost ready. I still have to do some final touches like on the hair and stuff, but aside from that, nice. It's looking pretty damn good actually. Where were we? I don't know. I'm feeling pretty better without. Yeah, I think it's like clean and stuff. Okay, so I finally made a schedule actually for streaming. I finally made a schedule, cause until now just streaming like the same hour like 4 times a week, but I thought, you know what, it's not fair. maybe there's like some people that cannot watch me doing shit codes like they're sleeping, so I don't like, you know what? On Sundays I'll stream earlier. Yeah, cause it's Sunday and everyone is home, I guess, but I'll just stream earlier on Sunday. That's literally all. And like the schedule is on like the description, and it's like automatic for every time zone, so that's pretty cool actually. So and yeah, that's kind of all, I guess. Yep, enough. Should we just watch some YouTube now? Cause I'm pretty curious about some lore. But before the lore, there are like 6 endings in this game. As I said, I did one, so should we watch all the endings first? I don't know what they are actually, but I think it'd be pretty cool to watch those, honestly. So I'll have a better idea about the game. So without any further ado, Elden Ring all 6 known endings. Okay, I'm pretty curious. So I guess... Oh! Nah. That's the first... Okay. Fuck. I'm getting like a lot of spoilers, but... Oh my god, there's so many of them. I don't know. Let's just see. Is this the first one? Wait. Do all of them like start the same? Cause I have no idea. Wait, what? So this should be the run ending.
The battle is over, I see.
Does it sound okay though? So this could have been me. What the heck? Oh. So I guess you will get this ending. I'm guessing, sounds fine, hell yeah. I guess you'll get this ending if you'll complete Ryan's quest before fighting the final boss, but I don't know 100%, I will just assume. Nope. And she'll just hold...
I do solemnly swear to every living being and every living soul. Now cometh the age of the stars. 1,000-year voyage under the wisdom of the moon. Here beginneth the chill night that encompasses all.
What the...
Reaching the great beyond.
Yo!
Into fear, doubt, and loneliness. As the path stretcheth into darkness.
I'm way too confused.
Well then, shall we?
Nah, no way we're going to a voyage. I'll take 2 hands, okay.
My fair consort eternal.
Wait, what? No, oh, what the f... What? Wait. Um. So, where are we in this ending? What? Like, for some reason now Redan is her concert, okay, but where the fuck am I? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just fucking dumb. Oh my fucking, nah, never mind. Oh my god, the player was wearing the Redan outfit. What the fuck am I? I feel so dumb right now. What the? Bro, bro was wearing the Rodan outfit and it fucking tricked me. Oh my fuck. Never mind, never mind. Okay. Aside from that, okay, that's the player. So, I guess this will happen after you'll do her ending. So I will guess that, like, last stream we married her, right? And now that we ended the game, we will go into a 1,000-year voyage, and I'm now not the Elden Lord? Oh, yes, like right here, Rani's questline. What the heck? Huh. That's so weird. Yo, Grace! The Moon Maiden, I guess so? What the Okay, that was a pretty weird one. But sure, what's the second one? Optional Hieta questline? Who the heck is Hieta? Okay, so this should be like totally another ending, right? What the? You'll go mad? Why do you go mad? Okay. Oh, on its own. Okay. Okay, you can just pretend this is Uncle. What the? What? What the? Everything is Okay. Whoa. Whoa. No fucking way. What? I burned the entire world. Oh my god, imagine getting this as your first ending. What the heck? Yo, bro. Oh my god, that's creep. Nah, that's so freaking cool. Oh, what the heck? What was... What? That was so weird. What the... Wait, let me see. Who the heck is... Like... Who is she, bro? Like... I don't even remember meeting her. And she has a completely ending for herself. What? That's insane. That's insane. I don't even know who she is. What the? Okay. Until now, this one was the best, honestly. It was, bro, I burned the entire world, bro. This one was the best until now. Dang. Who? Who are we? Who? Who? Bro. Oh. Oh, it's literally this guy, and bro is wearing the armor. I don't think I ever meet this guy, but I remember like him in like the intro, but sure. Okay. What can go wrong? Okay, so we are taking the head. Nah, no way. No way. Imagine waking up. Nah. Nah. No way. We killed Redagon and then bro woke up. What the heck?
The fallen leaves
What?
tell a story
I've already heard this, like.
of how a tarnished became Elden Lord.
Wait, what?
In our home, across the fog, the lands between.
Oh!
Our seed will look back upon us.
Now
and
that's creepy.
recall the reviled curse that defined our age.
What the fuck?
The blessing of despair.
What the heck? That was so edgy, bro. What, bro? We killed the boss. We took the head, put it on it. I don't know what happened after to the boss, but and we became like the Elden Lord, but in a world of despair. What? We are now the Edge Lord. What the? Okay. Okay. But the second one is still my favorite. Until now, the second one is still my favorite, 100%. Okay, let's see. Let's see who this person is. Because I probably have no idea. Nightmares incoming? Probably. Probably. Wait. Did I get these two guys? I remember bro was dead up. Okay. Those two have apparently an ending. The sunflower ending, okay. What can that be about, right? What can this be about? Okay, the head as always. Now that's now that's an outfit. We put okay, I guess. Okay. Sure. Wait, that's all?
The fallen leaves tell a story
Oh.
of how a tarnished became Elden Lord
Is this like a better world?
in our home, across the fog, the lands between.
Okay, this is already looking better.
Our seed will look back upon us and recall the age of order.
Age of Order. That was the most unsatisfying one. Not gonna. I don't know. This one was not that great, I guess. Nah, this one was the weakest until now. Not gonna lie. This one was the freaking weakest. Fia questline. Okay, we know who Fia is. Nah, 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 nah. If I would have gotten this, then kind of satisfying. Not gonna lie. Okay, now the Fia questline. Now I'm curious about this one. I'm really curious about this one actually. Okay, putting the head back as always, understandable, thank you. Okay, it's basically the same ending for like almost all of them. And you're getting the power and like, the only thing that will be different will be like what the narrator says, right?
The fallen leaves
Tell a story.
tell a story
What kind of...
of
Oh!
how a tarnished
Okay.
became Elden Lord. In our home, across the fog, the lands between.
Oh,
Our
okay.
seed will look back upon us and recall the age of the Duskborn.
Okay. Okay. Not bad. This one was not as bad as the last one. But still. The first three were the best. Now, it's kind of bad, honestly. It's not great. Wait a second. It's not that insane actually. I don't even know what to say about it. It's Could be better. Always could be better. And is the last one the normal one or? Oh, and there's the normal one.
Of how a tarnished became Elden Lord. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Our seed will look back upon us and recall an age of fracture.
Age of Fracture. Age of Fracture. Okay! Okay, those were all the 6 endings in this game. What do you think, guys? What do you think? If I had to like rank them, if I would have to rank them, I freaking love this one. Bro, this one is so freaking cool, bro. Like I'm becoming the Elden Lord just to set everything on fire. This one is so cool. Oh my god, this one is so freaking this one is so cool, bro. And I guess there's a second one. Like, I obviously love this one because they're like unique. But like as some like I'm not the one that is putting the head now. It's like Ronnie and we are going into a voyage and stuff, bro. This one is pretty cool, so I'll say like that's the first because it's AG, and that's the second one. Yeah, that's the third. That's the third. It's so edgy. It's so edgy. Like blessing of despair, you know. That's pretty. Okay, that's the third. I will go with mm, I'll go with the. That's the fourth one. Yeah, that's the fourth one. Cause like it's giving me hope, you know. Like this thing is giving me hope that everything will become better in this world. Dustborn and yeah, that's like the fifth one, and that's the sixth one. This one was pretty anticlimactic. Yeah, yeah, that's my ranking. I know no lore. I don't know any lore of this game. I just I just judged the endings because they looked cool. That was pretty weird, I guess. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say, bro. Those were pretty cool, actually. Yeah, but I really think that one is awesome, bro. The one when you burn the entire world is freaking awesome. Oh my god, I had so much fun watching that one. Oh, that one was insanely good, not gonna lie. That one, I enjoyed that one. Should we now go for like why I started this stream in the first place? Because there is a 50-minute long lore video. And I'm pretty curious to see that one, cause as I've said, I don't know shit about Elden Ring. I just beat bosses. A lot of people were talking about lore and stuff in the chat, but I was something like, huh? What? Huh? And that's all. I had no freaking idea. But maybe this video will freaking change my mind and how I actually look at Elden Ring. So, who knows? I'm pretty curious myself, so... There's a video. 1 million views, so not that many. There's still a lot, but...
About Elden Ring's lore, then you know.
Okay.
You probably
50 minutes! I'm ready to dive into this.
know more about Elden Ring's lore than you know about the game itself, because this
No.
software title is notorious for its story, its world building, and its devoted players who quite honestly obsess over the details, which unfortunately the game gives sparingly. But
I'm not one of them. The game gives, like, doesn't give you at all, so that's why I don't know shit.
I understand now why people are so invested. Elden Ring is one of the most lore-dense video games I've ever played, and while I was learning all about it, I couldn't help but get completely overwhelmed by how abstract, confusing, vague, and also how brilliant the story can be. That's why in this video we're gonna cut the BS. I'm gonna explain the entire story of Elden Ring
Nice.
and its new DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree, in as succinct of a video as possible while making it actually understandable through modern day analogy and a breakdown of the evidence we have of the facts of the world, its characters, and its rules, based mostly on item descriptions, dialogue, and trailers, which will give you the context
What?
you need to understand the full picture or
Nah.
at it trying. So strap on in, grab your runes, your katanas, and your
No way, bro. There is no way I'm reading a sword description to actually try and learn the lore. Okay. And I skipped a lot of dialogue, I'm sorry.
flasks. And let's get right into the full story.
Oh, and about the Erdtree, like the DLC, I know nothing. I finished it, I've been read, I know nothing. If for the main game, I kinda know that I have to become the Elden Lord and stuff. For the DLC, I have no idea, I just beat bosses, that's all, so I'm pretty curious about the DLC also.
Of Elden Ring.
And I haven't seen a single trailer for the game. Okay, that's getting hype. Hype! I'm sorry. This should be better. I'm sorry, I forgot to. Never mind.
While this game has tons of vague and confusing lore that is
The ring isn't really a ring. So, what's a ring then?
significantly up to interpretation, we're going to focus on what we do know. Long ago, something called an outer god, specifically this one known as the Greater Will, sent his lovely daughter, the Mother of Fingers, plummeting on a shooting star down to the lands between. It also
Okay.
sent, probably very much later
Who's this thing?
on, a star carrying something called the Elden Beast. The Mother of Fingies is essentially a Discord server owner.
Before that, fuck Mother of Fingers, I spent 5 hours on this thing.
Or you see, she would then go on to bestow the lands with the most horrifying motherfuckers you will ever witness. A bunch of fingers in the form of two main
Oh!
types. Finger creepers, which are just trying to finger people, I guess. And then the two fingers, which are basically Discord moderators who are dished out to be the guides and translate the words and wisdom of Daddy Greater Will, or maybe just the Mother's Will, who was informed by Daddy Greater Will. I don't know, but the two fingers were trying to communicate to the inhabitants of the lands between. Now, on the other hand, the Elden
Oh. Oh. So that's what Two Fingers is about. Two Fingers is about, because I've heard about this like a lot of times. Even like Rani's quest, she told us about the like 2 fingers, but I had no idea what the heck that thing was. Now it makes sense.
Beast, the thing that presumably came on a later shooting star, would eventually become the Elden Ring, which isn't exactly a ring as you and I understand those circular metal things you plop on your fingies. The Elden Ring is more like an extremely powerful item that creates order, or in other words, if the Lands Between itself was a video game, the Elden Ring would dictate the ability to change the settings of that game, like Minecraft's difficulty setting or Ark's XP, harvest, and taming multipliers. You want to
And we've beaten this thing. That's the most insane part.
remove the ability for people to die permanently in the Lands Between? Uncheck this funny little destined death box, and suddenly you've just disabled dying, allowing people to respawn. Hopefully that illustrates what the Elden Ring actually is, because it took me a good while to understand it. It's not really a ring, it's a rule set. So this Elden Ring is here now.
Okay.
What happened to it? Who used it? Well, first what we know is that a race of dragons used the Elden Ring. For an entity to command the ring and to a degree become one with it, they had to become a god. Not in the sense that an outer god is a god, just a regular god by this definition. Then they needed what we call an Elden Lord. It's almost like Star Wars with the Sith and their rule of two. Needless to say, the first Elden Lord that we're aware of was a dragon called Placidusax. His god was a dragon god that we don't really know anything about, just that it had to exist and that he essentially served it. The god is the one who serves or embodies the Elden Ring, and the Elden Lord is the one who serves said god, protects them, and ensures the
Wait, what?
about, just that it had to exist and that he essentially served it. The god is the one who serves or embodies the Elden Ring, and
Okay.
the Elden Lord is the one who serves said god, protects
But we've beaten the god, right?
them and ensures the order or configuration of the ring remains as the god intends for it to be. The Greater Will, on the other hand, just seemed to want some kind of order for the ring. They don't necessarily care about which order it is, just that there is an order at all. It's almost like the Greater Will is a server provider company, and the eventual gods that create orders are server owners. All the peasant players just kind of have to deal with the configuration the owner sets, and said owners could be open or closed-minded to suggestions in changing that order.
Okay.
Just hope to God that your outer god isn't Nitrato, or you're f***ed either way. Beyond simplifying these abstract concepts to analogies of the modern video game industry, what happened next with these ancient dragons?
4 minutes in the video. My head hurts.
Accompanying the dragons were also a race of beastmen, which were given exceedingly high intelligence, wisdom that actually was beyond humanity's later intelligence. How they got this insanely high intelligence, nobody knows, but they used it to create tools and weapons and build the monolithic structure of Fara Missoula, what seemed to be both a burial site and an
Yeah, I guess that's the best video to go to sleep, honestly.
actual city for the dragons and the beastmen. These beastmen appeared to go through multiple phases of technological advancement, like the Stone Age, and eventually having access to metals like iron. Now, while the beastmen are just kind of vibing, the dragons, as it would turn out, were kind of having some drama. Placidusax was fighting with another dragon, or some kind of wyvern, and a really nasty one at that. Its name was Bale the Dread. The two had an insane fight and had mutually serious injuries dished to each other.
Oh!
At some point later on,
Okay, and we fought them both.
the ancient and first Elden Lord, Placidusax, was abandoned by his god, and so he was just like, all right, I guess I'll just get locked behind time and just wait for my god to return. So that he did. Whether he did it himself or some other force locked him away in time, I don't know. A meteorite eventually struck the city of Fara Missoula, and this may have been a reason why it suddenly began to float into the sky, where it was engulfed in a seemingly never-ending storm, which, in combination with the meteor's damage, crumbled the city apart. Placidusax didn't care about any of this, obviously, because he was just chilling in his time vacuum, though definitely pretty mortally wounded. Around this era, there appeared to be a dynasty civilization which we know little about. They may have been the first actual humans in the Lands Between, along with other kinds of entities like the Onyx and Alabaster Lords, which were like stone people. This marked the end of the ancient dragon's reign, since with Fara Missoula floating and being torn apart, their god gone, and their Elden Lord just chilling beyond time, what were they supposed to do in order to continue the purpose of the Elden Ring?
Oh my fucking god, that's 5 minutes in. I understood nothing. So basically, they were waiting for something to happen, right?
The dragons decided to migrate to the snowy part of the lands between.
Okay.
Said dragons' descendants would eventually become the kind of modern-day dragons, and early on in the timeline, they fought a war against the giants. See, the modern-day dragons were residing
I know that. I at least know that.
in the snow until a race of fire giants came and said, "No, we're gonna live here now. It's dead. Goodbye." So the dragons were chased off, and the giants settled in, where they would come to create smithing, or a giant version of smithing. They created a giant forge, or cauldron, or whatever you want to call this thing, which housed a powerful flame called the Flame of Ruin, a very strong flame, mind you. Around this time also, there were human astrologers that had an early society and were effectively just hanging out in the snowy mountains with the giants, seemingly without conflict. On the other hand, the Zamor civilization also developed in the snow, and they hated the fire giants for some reason. Over time, the astrological civilization migrated down from the mountains
Where did the astrological civilization came from?
to what would eventually become the Liurnian region. You might be wondering, by the way, who exactly is the Elden Lord right now, or the god, for that matter, of the lands between? We don't have concrete evidence for that. All we know is that these civilizations of largely different humans developed and migrated around the landmass. They may have been in undocumented eras of Elden Ring configurations. But before we get into the Elden Ring configurations, it is pivotal that we talk about the Crucible. This is a term thrown around throughout the game with a disgusting amount of vagueness suffocating it. What we get hinted at throughout the game, especially in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, is that the Crucible is some kind of near incomprehensible essence by which life, divine or not, is able to be created from. Like a creative mode menu in Minecraft, but probably without the actual user interface because, well, this is an abstract fantasy concept. Whatever the Crucible looks or acts like, it seemed to be viewed by different cultures in different ways. For example, one particular culture known as the Hornsent people viewed it as a kind of spiral, and their architecture and accompanying items of worship towards the Crucible are seen as such, spiraling upwards towards the heavens. The Crucible also gave them horns, which they viewed as blessed and confirmed their belief that they were a chosen people. The Hornsent viewing themselves as a chosen people had some dire consequences for those around them, specifically those who weren't Hornsent.
I don't like where this is going.
Namely, the shaman people. See, the Hornsent were really into ritual.
Who? like generally, who?
Ritualistic sacrificial practices to appease what they thought was the Crucible, and so they actually started to massacre the shaman people since their flesh had a special property to meld harmoniously with others, and was thus good for being turned into a funny substance. They would torture these people, the shaman, and combine them together into big meatballs, and then stuff them into pots to become these saints, as they were deemed lower than the Horns.
I know that. Well, I had no idea how they came from, but I know that. It was something nasty in Alexandria, if I remember correctly.
And I guess they just wanted any people around them to become higher beings by being inside of pots. So basically, the Hornsent were like Nazi Germany, and I think you can figure out the rest of the analogy. By the way, all of this was taking place in what we can easily assume to have been part of the lands between at this point. Yes.
Wait, what? Was the map like that? Was the map like that and somehow the map got separated, or? This actually makes sense. Kinda.
All of this was taking place in what we can easily assume to have been part of the lands between at this point. Yes, this information has been confirmed in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, which takes place in the Realm of Shadow, but this Realm of Shadow definitely was not always enshrouded in shadow, so it must have been in some way connected to our main landmass, the lands between, with some theorizing that it literally occupied the same exact space, being right here in the middle.
Yeah, it makes a lot of
other
sense.
Sort of like parts of the land. With that clarified, let's continue. So the Hornsent kept making meatballs out of the shaman people, and they were also working on this divine gateway project to create a god. They seem to be using the shaman people to make the jars, and as well as to make the portal or gateway itself. There's also these bodies that are attached to the sort of like spiraling castle structure, which is what the divine gateway rests on top of. We actually see this thing in game as basically being constructed with loads of bodies attached, like effigies. This portal was presumably going to be used to make their Empyrean, their chosen candidate for godhood, a god. Her name was Grandam. Eventually, throughout all of the atrocities these Hornsent people were committing, at some point, one of the peasant shaman people named Marika had enough. We don't know when, but Marika one day managed to make contact with the Mother of Fingers, Matir. It is theorized that Marika
Summarize everything. there was Mother of Fingers that was sent here, and for some reason everything was created after that, and now we have a lot of different civilization, each one doing its own like things. And now Marika, that is like the biggest name I've heard thus far in the game, was just a random person in the tribe, and she just said, fuck it, I'm gonna be the most important person in this world.
Was able to contact Matir because of one of these hollowed ruins that can be found right next to the actual shaman village that Marika came from. Multiple NPCs say that the one who rings the bell has their fate guided by the stars, or that they'll be cradled by the Exalted Mother. So presumably Marika rang the bell, met the Exalted Mother, Matir, and was then chosen as an Empyrean herself. Again, a candidate, but seemingly by this separate divine entity. On the other hand, whether the Fingers chose the other Empyrean, Grandam, or the Crucible and the Hornsent did, it's not really clear. Matir, having chosen Marika, was separate to anything to do with the Crucible and the Hornsent, but acted as a...
Nah, bro, yo, drinker of beer. Hello. I'm just here losing my mind over like Elden Ring lore. I have no idea what the heck is going on.
Parallel to what they were doing. Marika, then being chosen, was set on her path to godhood, and here's where things get pretty fuzzy. Marika took note of everything here, right? The sacrifices, the crucible, the whole let's create a god with this divine gateway shit. And I guess she was like, you know what? Why don't I become the god and create a version of the crucible?
What the? Now she's a god? What the heck? The name is lore. How are 3 stars lore related? What's the lore? Bro, I completely missed this part, bro. How the heck?
To do with
I don't understand.
Hornsent, but acted as a parallel to what they were doing.
Okay.
Marika, then being chosen, was set on her...
Marika was chosen, okay. How the heck did she become a god?
Her path to...
How do you become a god?
The godhood, and here's where things get pretty fuzzy. Marika took note of everything here, right? The sacrifices, the crucible, the whole let's create a god with this divine gateway shit. And I guess she was like, you know what? Why don't I become the god and create a version of the crucible that is different from this one and doesn't involve sacrificing my people? So basically, she did that somehow. We see that in the story trailer for the Shadow of the
that's the lore. Somehow I did this. And now, okay.
Marika is walking up steps of corpses and makes it to this divine gateway we've been talking about after she pulls out some golden strands out of this fleshy hole of a corpse or something. And then from there, gold arose. She got to this point by seducing and betraying her way to the top. I have no idea how. I don't think anyone really knows how, but let's go with it. Also, it's
I know. Somehow.
important to clarify that as an Empyrean, Marika may have been given her shadow around this time, which was basically a companion to aid her in her potential ascendancy. In her case, it was this wolf
Now she got, okay. Now she got a companion.
guy named Malekith, which will come in later on. Anyway, after this...
Wait.
In her case, it was this wolf guy named...
Was her half-brother or something? Something, I guess.
Malekith, which will come in later on. Anyway, after this gold arose, and Marika did her weird ritual thing with the gateway, this seemed to create a fundamental landmass-changing consequence for the lands between. We can assume there was at this point beginnings of something called the Erd Tree, and something we refer to as the shadow of the Erd Tree called the Scatter Tree.
So she created it. Okay, why?
Scatter Tree created alongside the Erd Tree? Could the Scatter Tree just be the Crucible? So many questions, so few answers. So the Erd Tree begins, and gold has risen. Oh yeah, and Marika's now a god. Focusing on the lands between, let's talk about...
Random. Yeah, she's just now a god. How? How?
About a pivotal moment around when she became a god, which was that a city named Landale was founded and built around the now existing, albeit perhaps young, Erd Tree. With Marika acting as the ruler or god and, representing order, this was now the age of the Erd Tree conquest in the lands between. People weren't just going to accept the Erd Tree without good reason, so Marika was about to make them understand. She needed some serious strength and an Elden Lord specifically, so she married a barbarian named Horalu. This guy was an absolute tank, known for his strength and might makes right mentality. In order for him to chill out and not be as tyrannical as he had historically been, he decided to take who was once hailed as the Lord of Beasts, Sarash, onto his back, or in other words, a kind of sentient bottleneck for his rage, in the form of this weird spirit lion thing that essentially suppressed his lust for killing. Though Horalu was still dangerous because he's an insane barbarian. Nonetheless, when he made this change, I guess with it, he changed his name, which became Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, which as
Horalu just freaking put a lion on its head and become another person.
you should remember, doesn't actually make him the first Elden Lord, need we forget, plus if his acts. Godfrey was determined to scour over the land, ensuring that all knew how important and powerful the Erdtree was. We know that in his conquest he found the Storm Lord, which was known as the
Wait,
Storm
what? Wait. Rewind it.
Plus if Lord, which as you should remember, doesn't actually make him the first Elden Lord,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He's not the first one.
we forget, plus if his acts. Godfrey was determined to scour over the land, ensuring that all knew how important and powerful the Erdtree was. We know that in his conquest he found the Storm Lord, which was known as the Stormhawk King, and was super powerful for its epic wind attack, which we really only hear about. A shame, really, because I would have loved to see that thing during its prime instead of being forced to settle with its presumed descendants.
I would not.
These horrible monstrosities that have knives attached to their feet and try to throw fucking barrels at you like they're playing Donkey Kong.
Fuck those birds.
After Godfrey claimed
yeah,
the
that's
land
what
that
I'm
the
saying.
Stormhawk was seemingly guarding, this was where he had the castle of Stormvale built, which has a big old statue of Godfrey in it to honor the Lord. There was also Castle Morn down south, which Godfrey took over himself and I guess massacred a bunch of people in the process. There's a sword of all the swords of the fallen people that you can actually find there, which seemingly was forged because someone was very, very angry at Godfrey and wanted to avenge their fallen comrades. One of the other threats, though, to America's order, and a big one at that, was the army of fire giants. They were still around, and they didn't really appreciate the whole Erdtree just sprouting out of nowhere and those who worshipped and conquested for it to be prancing around the place acting like they were now the rightful owners of the entire lands between. The fire giants themselves had that insanely powerful flame crucible thing as well, a perfectly useful weapon for burning a giant golden tree. So America and her armies were definitely
you know what? This makes a lot of sense.
a bit paranoid. Godfrey led a huge war against them, and naturally, the fire giants fought back. In this war, Queen Mary
And obviously we know what happened to the fire giants.
was able to bring many allies to her side, including the trolls, descendants of the giants, which were just like, yeah, we like the Erdtree, so we're gonna fight right now. As well as the Knights of Zamor, those people I briefly mentioned earlier that really hated the fire giants, and the fire monks, which were a coalition of people that used an incantation to protect Godfrey's army from the flame of the giants. There was apparently some kind of god called the Fell God, which existed inside the giants after Queen Merica herself fought said Fell God, but we don't really know much about its significance beyond that. After the armies of the Erdtree wiped out the fire giants with all kinds of methods,
Completely
including
obliterated every single one except one.
impaling them with thorny stakes that went through their bodies, like, bro, what the hell? Only one fire giant remained, and he was just like, F you guys. And since Merica couldn't actually stop the insanely powerful flame that existed inside the crucible slash forge slash fire cup pot,
Oh, so after that was our mission. Alright, this makes sense. I will avenge the fire giants, okay.
device thing, she cursed the dude with the eternal babysitting of it.
Hell nah.
The giants were dealt with, and that made Merica mildly satisfied, but
Okay.
not fully.
Makes
I guess,
sense.
judging by what happens later.
Oh! What happens later? Okay. So until now, somehow America became like a god and then she is making the world rules. Okay, this makes sense. New challenges approach. Okay. What can happen after that?
During this new established era, as people began to accept the Erdtree and the lands between, it at least gave them something in return, in the form of holy sap that seemed to drip off and was collected by the people, having mystical, perhaps healing properties. As part of the Erdtree effectively began to establish real control over the lands, due to, of course, the actions of those who acted on it, like the Queen Merica and her Elden Lord Godfrey, this control would be ever strengthened by the children of the pair. Godfrey and
Okay.
Marika seem to have about 3 kin
Now I'm curious about like the family tree, bro. I'm pretty curious about that, not gonna lie.
around the same time. These consisted of Moog and Morgoth,
Morgan Morgan? Okay.
who were known as Omen twins,
Oh, they're twins.
which meant that they were kind of cursed with these horrible horns all over them and were banished to live in the
Yeah, they're pretty ugly, not gonna lie.
sewers. This was going to have dire consequences, but I guess they just hated omens because they were reminiscent of the Crucible era. Regardless, Marika and Godfrey had another child named Godwyn at some point as well, which was kind of their star angel child. Godwyn the Golden was his title, and he helped to further establish control by this now
At least this one looks normal.
golden lineage that he was a part of. See, as a result of being their kin, Marika's children were demigods, or in other words, half-gods, including Moog, Morgoth, and of course Godwyn. To tell you a little bit more about them, Moog was really pissed off about being banished to the sewers, so he turned to blood magic via the Formless Mother. Morgoth was like, I know they hate me, but I still love them. And Godwyn, well, he was just the special one and got special treatment.
But what's about the fact that there are like two versions of each one? Like of each demigod, there are like two versions that you'll encounter in the overworld. Why is that? I don't know that.
Seemed nice enough though. Were there more children from Marika and Godfrey? Who
I don't know.
knows? But for now, those are the 3 to be aware of.
Okay.
Alright, now if that was a lot to take in, I get it. Let's all take a deep breath so we can process all of the insane wizardry that just
A lot? It's not the right word, okay? It's not the right word.
occurred. Let us now continue where we left off in the last chapter with the continuation of the golden lineage and where things really start to pick up. Remember way back near the beginning when I was talking about the astrologers that came down
guess.
from the snowy mountains to a western region that would later become Liurnia? Well, those
guess.
people had progressed quite a lot since I last talked about them. There was the Carian royal family, and then there was the Academy of Raya Lucaria. They were separate initially, but one of the Carian royals, a woman named Renala, brought the two factions together. She just had, like, ultimate riz. Renala was seemingly a
okay.
princess, along with her younger sister, Rolana. Each of them had some kind of magical moon, meaning that they were moon twins. Rolana would later take both of these
Oh, this makes a lot of sense actually. Oh my god. This actually makes sense.
for herself, but that's DLC territory. At some point,
There's DLC there. Oh, I didn't even have any idea that those two are actually related.
once the then established sort of golden order, golden lineage was in full force, the armies of Queen Marika tried to liberate or take control of Liurnia. But the prideful Liurnians would not have it. There was a huge war that commenced, and one of the big players in said war was a man that seemingly came out of nowhere, Radagon. This dude is really important. Perhaps coming
Where did Radagon came from?
into existence at the birth of the Golden Order configuration itself, he has a very strange connection to Queen Marika. Radagon himself is Queen Marika, embodied as another person, in this case, a man. How might this work? Did they do mitosis? No clue. Regardless, this Radagon of the Golden Order fought
Literally. There's the explanation. They are the same person.
against Renala in battle during the Liurnia Wars, and by the end of the Second War, yes, there was a second one, Radagon was just like, okay, I'm going to make the war stop by drinking this so-called celestial dew at the Church of Vows and profess my love for Renala, thus ending the
What?
wars and uniting both sides. And then he actually
What?
did it. Cool?
What? Bro, actually...
So then both the people of Liurnia and the Golden Order were peacefully united, and everyone lived happily ever after. Oh, wait, this is a FromSoft game.
Okay. So what happened to Marika? Bro, it's Marika, right? So... fucking shit,
And then he
bro.
actually did it. Cool? So then both the people of Liurnia and the Golden Order were peacefully united, and everyone
Obviously,
lived happily
yeah.
ever after. Oh, wait, this is a FromSoft game. So Radagon and Renala smashed. They had 3 kids.
Smashed!
Radon, Rani, and Rykard.
Oh?
Renala
Wait. Redan... Rani? Rykard? What?
Radon, Rani, and Rykard. Radon became a general of the Red Mane forces
We know
and moved
that.
to the southeast. Rani took after her mother and studied sorceries, and Rykard went on to become a justiciar who led inquisitors that tortured those considered heretics to the Golden Order. Speaking of the Golden Order, remember the Elden Lord Godfrey? Well, he was starting to lose his grace around this time,
Yeah.
which America seemed to create when gold arose in that cursed portal of bodies. Grace was extended by America to everyone except the Hornsent, and eventually was temporarily taken from the Tarnished, which Godfrey was becoming. After fighting America's wars and pretty much cleansing the land of all major conflict, the hue from Godfrey's eyes started to fade. As his usefulness came to an end, Queen America had a plan. After questioning the Greater Will and the meaning of everything, she seemingly wanted to test it. She may have believed that bonds were to be broken and hardships had to be endured to fully understand the truth of the Greater Will. To test said beliefs, she divorced Godfrey and sent him away, along with his tarnished descendants. America's plan is repeated by this woman named Melina as follows.
In Marika's own words, my lord and thy word.
I completely missed it.
And the truth of the Greater Will. To test said beliefs, she divorced Godfrey and sent
Okay.
him away, along with his tarnished descendants. America's plan is repeated by this woman named Melina as follows.
Who is
In Marika's
Melina?
own words, my lord and thy warriors, I divest each of thee of thy grace. With thine eyes dimmed, ye will be driven from the lands between. Ye will wage war in a land afar, where ye will live and die.
Oh.
So with Godfrey banished, along with apparently all of his tarnished warriors, descendants, or whatever homies he left with, and as a lot of the major conflict was totally put to rest, things were chill. Until the lands between was shocked with a huge scandal. Radagon left Rennala. Why exactly? Well, remember Radagon and Marika were possibly the same being at this point somehow,
Okay.
just split into a guy and a girl. So Marika wanted to merge back into Radagon, which
Okay.
would
Okay.
explain why he suddenly left Rennala.
Oh,
If you
okay.
recall, he kind of came out of nowhere in the first place back when he led the people into battle while fighting against the Carians, initially, inevitably later uniting the two houses. Regardless, after leaving Rennala, Radagon married Queen Marika and had kids. Is this asexual? I don't.
Fuck. What the? Uh.
No. And if there weren't already too many demigod names starting with M, oh boy. I thought Melania. Is that the fucking girl I'm talking to at
Red
the
hair-
campfire?
No,
Who is she?
that's Melina.
Dude, Melina, Melania, America. How the fuck is anyone supposed to
True.
remember this shit? I pray
That's
to the
way
outer
too true.
gods so you don't have half as hard of a time as I did trying to desperately remember the names of these characters early on in my journey as a wee little tarnished. America and Radagon's new kids, a set of twins, were kind of weird. Miquella was cursed with eternal squeaker syndrome. He looked like a kid for life and wanted to help his sister.
Okay.
Said sister, Melania, was cursed.
Okay. So, Marika had kids with himself, and now they're like Melania and Mikkel. Okay.
Cursed with scarlet rot inside of her and cared very much about protecting Miquella. That said, apparently in Elden Ring you should not have twins, especially not with yourself. Marika also had a son named Mesmer as well, and also seemingly had another child named Melina. There's no
Nah.
direct named evidence for this whole Melina theory, but with the Erdtree DLC and Mesmer's item description saying he had a little sister, it is now more heavily implied than ever. Melina, most likely, went on to become the Glowmite Queen, which I'll talk about a little later on. Back to Mesmer. Like Melania and Miquella, he was also cursed. Mesmer had a writhing snake inside of him, and Marika
Everyone is cursed.
decided, I'm gonna pluck out your eye and put in place a golden eye, which will seal your stupid snakes inside you and make you chill. But apparently this wasn't enough to stop the snakes from coming out or something, so out of fear of this cursed snake shit, she sent him to the land or realm of shadow where he was to tie up some loose ends. You remember the horrible Hornsent people that massacred America's people long before
Kinda.
she became a god? Well, they were still alive, and she really thought that they shouldn't be alive anymore because of what they had done in the past, and were maybe even still doing to a degree. So to kill two birds with one stone, she sent Mesmer to the region she had arisen from with an army, and utilizing these huge fire golems that wielded a very powerful flame, one which was powerful enough to burn body and soul, Mesmer Mesmer basically burned the ever-living shit out of the Hornsent people and torched their main capital city, Belorat. In this process, though, Marika seemed to seal off the region, making it permanently in the shadow of the Erd Tree, and now a very difficult place to travel to, because it's as if the landmass was a part of the lands between 1 second, and then the next it was just poofed, becoming the realm of shadow. I guess going with Mesmer on the crusade was a few people, including Renala's sister, R'hllana, who very much wanted to help Mesmer massacre the Hornsent and was considered his blade or protector, but also coming with him was a guy named Gaius, a friend of Radahn, who was the leader of Mesmer's men, his commander. And real quick, speaking of the men that made up this army, many of them were on board with the massacre genuinely, but then a lot of them may have been sent there against their own will, with some suggested to have been prisoners. This would totally make sense, since not only would the whole crusade be killing 2 birds with 1 stone, it would be killing 3, because Marika would be first killing the Hornsent, second getting rid of her very dangerous child Mesmer, and third banishing a load of prisoners or unwanted people in the lands between. So after Marika did this, things may have been pretty chill, but the reality of the golden lineage meant that one day she would be replaced, probably. One potential candidate to replace her was Miquella, who was an Empyrean. He made a vow to his half-brother, potential candidate to the golden lineage meant that one day she would be replaced.
She'll be, okay.
Probably. One potential candidate to replace her was Miquella, who was an Empyrean. He made a vow to his half-brother, Radahn, saying this:
Lord brother, I'm going to be a god. If we honor our part of the vow, promise me you'll be my consort. I'll make the world a gentler place.
Radahn probably seemed pretty cool to Miquella, and in appearance he was probably just as young as Miquella at this point, making them very obvious peers. And again, half-brothers. Radahn was generally a nice demigod, and I could see why Miquella would respect him heavily, but to go as far as wanting him to be Miquella's Elden Lord / king consort whenever Miquella eventually would become a god after becoming an Empyrean, that's something. What exactly are the terms of this vow? Unexplained. Was Miquella
We don't
really
want to
into
know.
guys? Unexplained.
We don't want to know.
Uptick of Rule 34 results after people fully catch wind of this?
No, we don't want to know.
One thing we can almost definitively say for sure is that Miquella loved his sister a lot and was very invested in trying to find a cure for her kind of major problem. Melania also loved Miquella very much and devoted herself to being his blade or protector, with the two of them compensating for each other's flaws. They were both candidates for godhood, Empyreans, as so many of the offspring of Marika seemed to be, including, once Marika later married Radagon, Ranni. Remember the character I talked about like over 5 minutes ago that I barely elaborated on? Well, Ranni, the sister of Radahn and Rykard, became an Empyrean once her father Radagon married Marika. So both she and Miquella and Melania, now Ranni's half-siblings, were all given 2 fingers to help guide them in their potential ascendancy to godhood. The 3 were also presumably given shadows, and we know that Ranni's shadow was a wolfman dude thing named Blythe. Taking a step back from the Golden family though for a minute, we ought to mention the Godskins, because they're pretty important both as a player, holy shit this fight sucks, and in the grand scheme of the lore. To put it simply, remember Mesmer's sister Melina? Well, she is very likely, due to a shit ton of evidence, the Gloam-Eyed Queen. Said queen was known to be an Empyrean.
What?
And
Nah,
by the
bro.
fingers, which would definitely further add to the evidence of her being Melina. But also, for whatever reason, Marika seemed to cast Melina out. I guess she was cursed too. So if she was kicked out of the royal family and she also was the Gloam-Eyed Queen, then she was later responsible for some pretty crazy stuff. See, the queen made these things called Godskin apostles. Followers that were made from weird artificial means, and they wanted nothing more than to slay gods, wielding the power of destined death.
Hell yeah.
They primarily used a black flame incantation in combat, which, due to the destined death imbued in it, was able to slay gods. Who they slayed? I'm not sure. We may or may not have the actual names of these gods that they apparently slayed and may or may not have made clothes out of, but they're pretty menacing nonetheless. I mean, just look at this midsummer looking ass village later on. Like, what the is this? With the Godskins being a threat to the Golden lineage, Marika sent her shadow, Malekith, to destroy them. Malekith fought and killed the Gloam-Eyed Queen, or if Melina is in fact the same person, burned her but didn't kill her entirely, because somehow in the way future when you're actually playing the game, Melina is a spirit ghost lady thing that follows you around and talks to you. Anyway, to further prevent anyone from wielding destined death to kill any more gods, Marika sealed away the destined death rune itself, which was previously part of the Elden Ring configuration, with Malekith to guard it, sealing the rune in his sword. With the destined death rune then removed from the ring, this essentially created an entirely new configuration or order of its own, which may have been Marika and the Finger's goal all along, what we refer to as the Golden Order. Was this golden order gonna last long? Maybe, or maybe if you're Ronnie, you really don't want to become a god and despise the fact that you're an Empyrean and decide, hey, I'm gonna kill my half-brother and do this insane satanic ritual to ensure that I don't have to remain beholden to this stupid god crap. So remember
Then we'll go into 1,000-year voyage. Hell yeah.
Godwin, America and Godfrey's son? Well, he was just doing shit, being a pretty cool guy, before these black knife assassins who were hired by Ronnie to go and steal a shard of Malekith's sword came and shanked Godwin with this destined death infused shard, carving a piece of this death symbol circle into him, while Ronnie, on the other hand, also had that symbol carved into her, which caused an insane magic reaction that can only be described as needlessly complicated. Godwin seemed to lose his soul while his body was still a vessel for a soul, which is apparently really bad when combined with the whole destined death thing. And then Ronnie, on the other hand, kept her soul but lost the tether to her human flesh, at which point she put her soul into a doll's body. Godwin's body, on the other hand, was discovered and mourned by the Golden family, being buried at the roots of an ancient great tree underground. Unfortunately, while Ronnie's body is just hanging out on top of a tower still, Godwin's body became an eldritch horror because of the circumstances of his death and spread an entirely new thing called Deathroot all around the lands between. Following the tragic death and spreading of her son, America was distraught. Also, the people of the lands between were like, yo, demigods can die? And a lot of chaos broke out. There was a decent amount of fighting.
Okay.
Demigods like Mikola outright abandoned the Golden Order fundamentalism, which was basically him going, I never cared about this shit anyways, I prefer more overt incest. And everything else was just getting to a breaking point before America decided, hey, I'm gonna literally shatter the Elden Ring, which she then proceeded to do.
Nice!
To recap this insane and very long chapter, America shrouded what seemed to be a part of the previous Lands Between in shadow, the shadow of the Erdtree. Some people stayed in the Land of Shadows, some people stayed in what we know as the proper Lands Between. The demigods mostly all just seemed to be trying to chill out and get by, while Mikola was doing some really weird shit, making vows to do some incest stuff with Radon, which may or may not have been consensual, while Mesmer was sent off to massacre the Hornsent people, which probably had it coming considering what they did to America's people back in the day. Then Godwin was assassinated, Ronnie became a doll, and America shattered the Elden Ring, marking the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. The Shattering.
That's fucking insane, bro. That's so insane. Just imagine. Just imagine 31 minutes. That's like more than half of the video. And only now we are like spawning as a player. That's absolutely insane.
With the Elden Ring shattered, some of the demigods got their hands on different pieces of it, and ultimately none could agree on who should be the Elden Lord and succeed whatever soulless creature America/Radagon was at this point. The demigods fought harder than the 11-year-olds competing to type first on every YouTube video. To start, Rykard, if you recall, Renala and Radagon's son, was suddenly very against the Golden Order, or whatever was left of it, fighting wars to become the new Elden Lord by force. He would eventually retreat to his volcano manor and get eaten by a giant snake that whispered sweet nothings to him. His brother Radon, on the other hand, still
okay, bro. This kind of explains like something.
Appreciated the Golden Order and resided in Caelid, which was experiencing its own issues with scarlet rot outbreaks. His sister Ronnie, now a literal doll, was just chilling in a tower with an ultimate plan to
that's what you are supposed to do.
Follow through on her fate, which was apparently to remove all control from the gods and allow the stars to determine things, and with her connection to the Astrological Society being Renala's daughter, that kind of makes sense. But what about the other demigods? Well, early in the Shattering War, one of Godfrey's old descendants, Godfroy the Grafted, actually tried his hand at attacking Landau because he wanted to be Elden Lord, I guess, but he failed miserably and was imprisoned.
Obviously.
And then his son, Godric the Grafted, ran like a coward, eventually making it over to Stormvale Castle, which he kind of took over. But while Godric is a meaningless character that nobody likes, Mikola and Melania, during this period of the Shattering era, were doing some stuff to prepare for when the vow Mikola made way back when would eventually bear fruit. See, Mikola saw what happened to Godwin, with his body having just been spread through the Lands Between and being capable of manifesting as more than just a body. Mikola also seemed to know at this point a funny, quirky little fact about the Realm of Shadow, which was that to actually enter now, like to go to the place yourself, you had to absolve yourself of your flesh, somehow basically doing what Ronnie and Godwin seemed to do in their own ways. So Mikola came up with an idea, or a way to get to the Realm of Shadow, because of how important it was to his overall plan, to become a god and to have Radahn be his consort. He first created something called the Halig Tree by taking an Erd Tree sapling, watering it with his own blood, and growing it into a gigantic, sprawling Eden of empathy, or...
Never mind, the player still not came in and there is more shit that I don't understand at all.
So you'd think. This Halig Tree was actually a place for people to sort of chill out and escape from being hunted or chased down by the Golden Order, for example. This was a pretty popular place for the Albanurics, which were like these sort of artificial GMO creatures, kind of like the Godskin Apostles we talked about earlier. Miquella's sister, Melania, also hung out here at the Halig Tree, where Miquella worked on methods to try and cure her scarlet rot with things like unalloyed gold, which helped to treat the disease to a degree. Miquella eventually had enough dilly-dallying around trying to save Melania and decided, hey, it's time we do that thing I made the vow for like a long time ago, and Melania was just like, sure. Miquella cocooned himself in the Halig Tree, which rid himself of his body, maybe, sort of, while making it have some usefulness to the tree and the people there, but while also detaching his soul to be able to get to the Shadow Realm. And around this time, he also sent Melania to attack and fight Radahn, I guess
Why?
to the death over in Caelid. Scarlet Rot was pretty bad over there, and Melania was like, hey, so I'm gonna get you. And Radahn was like, nuh-uh, you're f***ing disabled. And Melania was like, I'm gonna stab us both now. Then she was like, Miquella awaits thee, O promised consort. Before turning into a giant flower blossom and corrupting the shit out of Radahn, destroying his cognition and stripping him of all but his body, his anorexic horse, and a now very tormented mind. Melania went into like a coma and was carried back to the Halig Tree by one of her soldiers, and that was that. There are so many questions, like, did Radahn actually agree to be Miquella's consort? Which, if you don't know the definition, that means spouse, basically. So, did this dude actually consent to being in an incest relationship with his half-brother that also looked eternally like a young child, or was he manipulated? Miquella can absolutely manipulate.
Now that bro says that, it's kind of concerning.
People to do his bidding by what happened next, which was that after Radahn got completely obliterated and basically turned into a Scarlet Rot zombie, Miquella was like, alright, I need a temporary sugar daddy to do some other stuff so that Radahn can ultimately be my real sugar daddy. Which takes us to Mohg. Oh, poor Mohg. You might not actually be the Mohg Lester that we thought you were.
They just kept calling me the Mohg Lester. But finally people know the truth about the Miquella Lester.
Remember this guy?
Nah.
This was one of Godfrey's sons.
Nah.
One of the banished Omen twins that worshipped blood magic, and he happened to be perfect for manipulation because unlike his twin brother Morgoth, who defended the Golden Order with every fiber in his being, Mohg was pretty vengeful seeming. At least he thought he had better ideas than what the Golden Order was all about. Regardless, Miquella seemingly manipulated Mohg into taking Miquella's cocoon out of the Halig Tree, placing it into Mohg's own underground temple known as Mohgwyn Palace, and guarding it. Why did Miquella want Mohg to do this? Apparently, so that one day someone might come along and kill Mohg, allowing Miquella to use Mohg's demigod body, yoink it into the realm of shadows somehow, and pair it with Radahn's soul, reviving him with a new body in the Shadow Realm. Yeah, it's like simple, right?
Yeah, it's like...
If
It's
you're
like- it's
also
like
so
simple.
incredibly confused by this story that you've completely lost any hope that the writers were not snorting copious amounts of cocaine while coming up with this
That's what I thought! The entire length of the video until now, that's literally what I thought.
I am right there with you. Miquella's plan to eventually revive Radahn in the Shadow Realm, make him his Elden Lord, and become Radahn's god in the process seemed to pretty much solely hinge on some random bozo coming up and slaughtering zombie Radahn and Mohg. This plan also very much kind of aligned with Marika's, or was similar to hers when she went through the process of shattering the Elden Ring. See, she wanted to allow the Tarnished to return to the Lands Between by extending grace to them, which, if you recall, she took away a long time ago. Were the Tarnished a backup? It kind of seems like they were, in case the whole not-so-golden order were to fall apart. So, it's time to meet you.
Yay! Let's go! Let's go! 13 minutes left and we are getting some recognition!
You, the player. Yes, you.
Yeah!
You're Tarnished. Welcome back from being banished away and having your poor grace taken away from you. There are many like you who have returned to the Lands Between to seek the Elden Ring and become the new Elden Lord.
Yeah.
Many who tried, all so far who have failed. But you'll be different. Because this is a video game, and no matter how many times you die, you will always try again. Sweatier than before, but don't let that get you down. Your character wakes up after being extended this grace and making some kind of travel to the lands between through a metaphorical or real fog. Just to be clear, there are other continents on the planet the lands between takes place on. And for example, if you choose the samurai loadout when creating your tarnish, you'll find that they come from the distant land of reeds. Whoever your character is though, they'll eventually stumble their way outside of a church-like building and take their first steps into the lands between.
Limgrave.
Guided by your grace, you learn the layout of this place, meeting its inhabitants, a now shattered, lost, and broken people. You fight monsters, all kinds of creatures of strange origin, yet many of them give clues to the lost, rich,
There is no explanation why everyone is angry and attacking me.
ancient history left behind. Eventually, you fight bosses and start to make your presence known in this land, all the while being guided by Melina, the strange, confused spirit that seems to be left behind from the Gloam-Eyed Queen. After slaying dragons, shard bearers, and even demigods, at some point you have a choice to make. Go straight to where Marika and Radagon are conjoined and locked away in the Erdtree, or pursue and hunt down Radon, the brain-rotted demigod, and eventually Moak, who at the time you understand to be a kidnapper. Your choice of pursuing the main quest or Mikola's is split depending on whether you want to engage with the DLC. This video, of course, covers said DLC, so let's talk about what happened when you Mikola was really banking on after all those years before you showed up. After fighting and slaying Radon, and seemingly after a certain happy little pot man named Alexander eats Radon's entire corpse, the demigod is then set
W. Alexander.
free from his flesh and seemingly capable of existing in the realm of shadow. All I know is that you have to kill Radon. Afterwards, you find Moog, fight him in his palace, and ultimately slay him. This is the point where one of Mikola's followers, Leda, tells you to go and touch Mikola's hand, to be transported to the realm of shadow. Mikola yoinks Moog's corpse to go there himself, and this is where the DLC begins. So now you're here, in the realm of shadow, in the shadow of the Erdtree. If you're anything like me, you're really confused about what this place is, where it is, how any of this works. But nonetheless, let's carry on. Before you got here, Mikola actually got here first, even though you're responsible for letting him come here, I guess? So he must have done some stuff like really fast, just straight up like any percent speedrun the DLC. He abandoned his flesh of his old or his new body in the Shadow Realm, but not just his flesh. See, he abandoned parts of his mind, it seemed, including another individual entirely that was actually a part of Mikola. See, much like how Marika had another person inside her, that being Radagon, which she could split off in
No.
Mikola also had another component, that being a girl named Saint Trina. We don't know much about Saint Trina, other than the fact that she was a girl and that she eventually blossomed into a flower creature entity once Mikola, in the process of leaving everything of himself behind, split her off of himself, leaving her to just hang out at the bottom of this gigantic hole in the Shadow Realm. So after you left Saint Trina, as well as his eyes, his arms, and basically every part of himself behind, once arriving in the Shadow Realm, he kind of just goes up to the Divine Gateway in this shadowy tower that Marika had initially locked behind long ago after becoming a god herself, and he just kind of waited. Or maybe that's when he started to use Moog's body to birth the new Radon by pairing his soul with the body. Now, okay, with all of that set up, we can finally get to you, Tarnished. You explore this new place and find that Mikola has a lot of followers. A lot of these followers were charmed up until a certain point in the DLC before the charm was broken, including an NPC named Ansbach, who actually used to be a follower of Moog and claimed that he tried to free Moog from Mikola's charm only to be charmed himself. A good representation of this charm is how Mikola is capable of actually stealing your heart during the final boss fight, in which he grabs you and he promises a 1,000-year voyage guided by compassion. Then if he grabs you twice, instead of the game saying you died, it says heart stolen, and you pretty much die like normal.
I haven't even gotten this, like, thingy.
But you just, like, hang out. But we're gonna get into the boss fight later. So nonetheless, this realm of shadows is where you're introduced to a ton of new bosses, and you discover exactly what Mesmer did to this place before it was enshrouded in shadow with all this genocide and everything. Except, wait, Mesmer is still being a fire terrorist. Seems like he's really clinging on to his trauma from when Marika locked him in the Shadow Realm, because he seemingly still depends on the idea of her, albeit horrible, motherhood for emotional support, like in one of his cutscenes.
No, Mother, forgive me.
You kill bosses, roll through this land like you're the main character, because you kind of are, and discover a bunch of lore. Lore which I've just spent definitely too many hours examining. Once you absolutely obliterate the local population, burn this shadow seal crap with the kindling you stole from Mesmer's corpse, and make your way through this castle found above the tortured city of Bellerat, you finally come face to face with the final boss of the DLC, young Radahn, which is using Mohg's body. He doesn't speak, he just tries to
Young Radahn that is using Mohg's body. But bro looks like Radahn. Is this actually Mohg?
mercilessly kill you as fast as humanly possible. Oh. You probably steamroll the shit out of Radahn in phase 1, which isn't too bad, but then, in his second phase, Miquella finally comes out, wrapping himself around Radahn, and again, if he grabs you, he will make you fail the fight by stealing your heart. Bro really said, I'm gay, and you? I'm gay too, I think. Once you finally kill what may arguably be the most difficult boss fight in the game, you Elden Ring superfans can be the judge of that, we get a memory from Miquella revealing the vow he made way back when. And then, it's over. You just killed Miquella and let Radahn finally have a fucking rest after everything he was just put through.
Oh, we
and that's
killed
sort of it.
Miquella.
If you decide to do the DLC and see everything through to the end, you're gonna kill Miquella, which, by the way, is exactly what his banished other half, Saint Trina, suggested that you do, given that, like Marika, seemed to find godhood to be a prison, detaching her mentally from her own values and humanity. The same was very likely to happen to Miquella if he actually, fully went through with this.
Oh! We actually killed Mika. Oh, okay. And now the endings. Okay, I watched all the endings before this, so I know what bro will talk about.
But with the DLC covered, where do we go next? Well, the endings to the base game itself, of course, which we're gonna go over now. After you either skip the entire DLC or complete it and continue onward with the rest of the main game, what exactly do you do? Well, the issue you get to is that the Erd Tree, which houses Marika in it, is sealed off by some crazy Erd Tree thorns and stuff, so you need to burn it in order to get through the blockage. Thus, if you didn't already slay the fire giant that sits atop the snowy mountain guarding the big old forge thing, then that's probably your next stop. Yes, this is the same dude that was eternally cursed by Marika to stay up here attending the flame. He is not a happy boy, not at all, and I definitely wasn't either while fighting him. Stupid f***ing
Come on, one more.
Suck my nuts in your
Okay.
Swallow, Neil! Swallow!
After killing the fire giant, Melina pops up and she's like, okay, so now I'm gonna light the whole ass tree on fire and die, I guess.
W
so
Melina.
She does, and without warning, she also teleports you to that ancient dragon city, Farum Azula, which I talked about like 30 minutes ago, and just dies in the process. She's gone. She's dead. The fire killed her. Melina is gone. Now, if you recall, this place that you just got teleported to, Farum Azula, got totally wrecked by a meteor and started floating and getting engulfed in a seemingly never-ending storm. Why did Melina teleport you here? Well, this was to assure that you were in the right place to carry on this sort of part of the deal where you're going to become Elden Lord. That's why she had just herself, was to kind of help you. And the reason you needed to come to Farum Azula to do that was because destined death was still sealed here. And what that meant is that gods couldn't be killed. Rewinding a bit back to when Godwyn was killed, Malekith, the furry guy which was responsible for not allowing anyone to get their hands on even a shard of his sword, which had destined death sealed in it, he kind of failed at his job. So he was like, I'm really angry and I'm gonna seal this sword literally inside of me, which he did way back when. So you explore Farum Azula and eventually find Malekith, who, after pretending to be a really unnaturally acrobatic sausage man in some oddly concealed robes, tears them all off when his health bar reaches halfway, and then proceeds to probably f***ing obliterate you.
Yes.
Suck at this bar!
Whenever you manage to kill him, though, the rune of destined death is then, I guess, just unsealed, and the gods can now be killed. Yippee! You head back to the Erd Tree.
Oh, because of the rune now we can. Oh, okay.
Tarnished mind may desire. You head inside for the final showdown. So you gotta fight Radagon, which is also Marika. You can see the Elden Ring like literally embedded inside of them. It's pretty cool. Once you slay Radagon, the cosmic being known as the Elden Beast, which, if we rewind, was the literal embodiment of order and thus the Elden Ring, just kind of slithers out of the void, and you know the drill. Once you kill the Elden Beast, you're presented with some different endings, depending on a variety of choices you made along the way. I assume there is no ending relating to the Erd Tree DLC, but let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Starting with the shittiest ending of them all, the Frenzied Flame ending. If you decide to get fingered by this weird three-fingered
Why the shittiest? That's the coolest one.
entity, you become a carrier of the frenzied flame, and Melina doesn't have to die when burning the Ur tree with the flame from the Giant's Forge.
W.
This frenzied flame thing, once you get your hands on the Elden Ring, means you just like burn everything. Like you just kill everyone.
Yeah.
It's all going, it's gone. Except Melina's still alive, and she's gonna hunt you down for all of eternity. And now do you see why the whole Glow-eyed Queen theory is very plausible? The next worst ending is the Age of Order, which is where
Well, I guess worse because of the lore, but that's the coolest one.
you just kind of restore what the Golden Order was doing. And if you choose that one, that's kind of boring. The next ending you could choose is the Age of Despair.
Yeah, kind of boring.
Which requires going through a whole quest line with this guy named the Dung Eater, who just, like, okay, I don't think he actually eats dung. He just wants to spread a really bad virus around and make everyone have, like, warts and suffer and stuff. I get, why would you do this? The default ending, on the other hand,
That also was pretty cool.
while not being horrible, isn't particularly satisfying to me. America is still a god, presumably, so you're her Elden Lord, but is she really, like, anything, like, alive anymore?
We don't know that.
This kind of sounds like a depressing ending. The second best ending I would suggest is the Age of the Duskborn, where you
Why?
essentially just bring back and repair death into the Elden Ring configuration, which apparently wasn't already sorted out before, but otherwise nothing else about the Order seems to really be changed. So it's kind of just, eh. The last ending of these six, and easily the best in my opinion,
best.
is the Age of Stars. This one, which you can only get by completing Ronnie's quest, allows you to, number one, no longer be maidenless, and
Let's
absolutely
go.
in my books, and number two, remove gods and all this crazy shit from the lands between, allowing people to rely on the stars for guidance, whatever that totally entails.
Oh.
Kind of just seems like she wants to not with people and leave them be, and I'm all for that.
Oh.
While Elden Ring is possibly
You know what? Actually, yes, that's the best
the
one.
most lore-dense video game I will probably ever cover in my
Oh my
lifetime.
fucking
A
god,
lot
bro.
of that is due to the sheer scope of everything. So many characters, so many of them being gods or demigods, so many places, so many species. It's just a lot of stuff to
bruh.
cover, and I'm almost certain there's going to be even more exposition.
Bro. Oh my god, bro. Now that's insane. This fuck. Oh my head hurts. Too much information. Why? Why? Oh. Okay, so I will try to like understand what the heck did I just watch. So there is a lot of shit happened before we even like went and even wanted to become the Elden Lord. A lot of shit happened. That was actually insane. What the fuck? Now I was confused before watching the video. Now I'm even more confused. What the heck was that? Like for real now. Why everything has to be that complicated? That's absolutely insane. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Lore, I guess that's why I skip like the lore. That's why I skip the lore. Cause if it will be like something like this, it will be way too confusing. Oh my fucking god, bro. That was insane. That was absolutely insane. Wait. But wait. The people who wrote the lore, literally, those are the people who wrote the lore. They knew they will fuck us, bro, and that's fucking say. How do you think of something like this, bro? Nah, bro, only like cocaine is not enough to think about something like this, bro. You have to be like fucked in the head, but in a good way. Bro, that was absolutely insane. Oh my god, bro. What the heck? What, how? First of all, how? Insane, honestly, fucking insane. Oh shit. I did not expect it to be like that, honestly. I don't even know what it would be like, some lore, and yeah, this will be everything, but okay. And let me say something first. Let me just say something first, okay? I'll be completely honest. Let me show you that there is like literally a 9.5-hour video where someone explains all the lore. And if this is not all, there's like 5 hours, 2 hours. Insane. How? What can you explain in 9.5 hours? I'm not gonna watch that, but fucking insane, bro. Fucking insane. That's absolutely insane. I did not expect that at all, okay? That was... whoa. Honestly, just whoa. Oh my god. And I'm think now that I actually know the lore, I'm done with this game. I haven't yet beaten every single boss in the DLC, and I don't know if I will ever do that. Maybe that's a possibility that I will, but before that, I'm done with this game, honestly. I had a lot of fun, and I raged a lot playing it, but finally, after 100 and some hours, I'm done with this thing. This game was absolutely insane. This was absolutely insane, bro. The story, the gameplay, everything. Insane. And probably I'm gonna continue with like Dark Souls Remastered, because like it seems pretty cool actually, so I think I'm gonna do that on Saturday. I have to think about it, but that's probably what I'm gonna do. So that's kinda it. Insane, bro, video, bro, and imagine how much time you would spend making that, bro. That's absolutely insane. But that's kinda it. I appreciate everyone that stayed with me on this entire journey. It was absolutely insane, bro. It was insane. Now I'm gonna go and try to finish the video that I was talking about at the beginning. So I'm gonna go now. Bye.